something else. Watching the $1 million worth of game interview as well too, is that any of Terence Crawford's accomplishments, Errol, Spence, PVC, boxing fans are always going to diminish it. And it's just a preview of what's to come July 29th if you get the victory. Let's talk about it. Check out the Boxing News playlist, Welterweight Boxing Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. When they told Errol Spence he was the underdog during the interview little tour, right? And they said, you the underdog. He said, after everything I've been through, I should be the underdog. I'm telling y'all, I talked about this before. I've talked about it again. You know what time it is. Terence Crawford and the fans is in a lose-lose situation. If he lose, he was overrated. He was never that good. We told y'all he didn't fight nobody. And if he win, Errol Spence wasn't the same fighter after the car accident. Had he fought EJ before the accident, he wouldn't have beat him, and he barely beat him after the accident. Or you know what it is. You know what it is. People gonna forget Derrick James said he punching harder after the accident. They gonna forget, I'm gonna break them mentally, physically, spiritually. I'm gonna break them like Kunta Kinte. People gonna forget all that shit that was said. And some people, and I like one thing Errol Spence said in boxing. He said on that $1 million worth of game interview, he said either you got to be the hero or the villain. Ain't no in between. Ain't no in between. And then being the hero and being the villain is in boxing is not a right or wrong. Because some people look at Canelo as the hero, and some people look at Canelo as the villain. Some people look at Canelo, he did no wrong. Same thing with Leo Santa Cruz. Some people look at Leo Santa Cruz, as a hero. Some people look at him as a villain for not fighting certain people. Some people didn't really care. So that's kind of a couple things that you got to look at in all when you talk about this boxing ish. So, but, and Gilly and them, Gilly was telling him, like, I don't understand how Bud is ranked above you and you got the better names. See, niggas always focusing on names and brands. I always tell y'all this. It ain't about the caliber, or it's not about the material that you're wearing no more. It ain't about if your shoes is hand painted. That's not what they buying them. It ain't about if you got the best gaiters on your feet. It don't matter if the jacket keep you cold. Keep you warm, but it's light. But it keep you warm like it's heavy, but it's light. It's light enough for you to still move and maneuver in. It's not about performance. It's not about material. It's not about craftsmanship. This generation care about a name. That's it. And once they get a name, they get the celebrities to start wearing the names, then the regular ordinary folks gonna start spending their hard-earned money, they working money to buy this brand. And it's the same thing they doing. Just because people say, well, he beat Sean Porter, or he beat Danny Garcia, or he beat whoever. To those names are, to a lot of people, those are names. But in reality, can you say Sean Porter had a better career than Victor Postal? He came up short in a lot of fights. He did. Victor Postal stopped Lucas Matias when Danny Garcia couldn't. Danny Garcia paid Victor Postal to step aside. To me, Gamboa was more talented. Not saying he better than Sean Porter. More talented than Sean Porter. We can get into the cross-examination on when he fought Sean, and Sean wasn't motivated. At the end of the day, come July 29th, ain't that the world is gonna be at a standstill. And all this overtime that he putting in to diminish Bud, you ain't even gotta say nothing, bro. Cause on Saturday night, you will be able to validate every statement you said about him. He didn't fight nobody. He too light in the ass. I'ma break him mentally, physically. I'm gonna do all this to him. Told y'all he didn't fight nobody. You able to validate it with your hands, but my thing is, why do he feel the need to keep telling people, oh, he ain't did this, he ain't did this, he ain't did that? Man, the fight's on now. The fight is signed. The fight is signed. So it's no more smoke and mirrors where you gotta play a Jedi mind trick on the fans on why he don't deserve to fight. There's no more of that. You don't have to do smoke and mirrors about why he don't deserve to be here. He here now. You signed the contract. You signed the contract. It's here. So why do we need to consider to keep tarnishing or berating his accomplishments? Because, oh, PBC said it ain't big names, it ain't big names. Like I said before, they don't know how to do a lot of things at PBC. They still in the infancy stage as a boxing whatever they is, team, network, or management company, whatever they consider themselves is, they are. That's one thing we know about them. They in the infancy stages of their boxing career. Matchroom been around way longer. Top Rank been around way longer. Queensberry Promotions been around way longer. They still in the infancy stage. You know what I mean? So, you know, it is what it is. But him going out his way to continue to say something that you can prove, the promotion is up. I mean, you don't need to promote that shit no more. That's my whole thing about it. I really think he trying to hype himself up. And a lot of us play sports. A lot of us kind of been in a fight where, you know, you got to go meet somebody at the park around the corner. And sometimes you got to hype yourself up to get amped up for it because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if them jitterbugs, you know, going to be there. But, you know, when you get into an animalistic state or in a survival state of mind, that just your adrenaline just kick in. But it's like, man, he like that football player that got to help hype themselves up. Smack themselves on the helmet, bang their head against another teammate helmet, yell and scream just to get amped up to go out there. That's what he doing for Terence Crawford. You trying to hype yourself up, and then again, maybe you trying to say something so often, you trying to tell yourself so often that, you know, he not a machine, he a man, he not a machine. Everything he did to them, because they was already washed up and they wasn't that good. You gotta hype yourself up and tell yourself that so you believe you got a chance. Because at one point it was just like, okay, he just doing this to avoid the fight. And guess what his fans were doing? They was regurgitating and reciprocating that same energy. Oh, he ain't did this. He ain't got his numbers up. He got to do this to get the fight. He got to do that to get the fight. Oh, I got to get the last belt. It was all these excuses. And to me, I just really think he just want to hype himself up to believe he can. Because ain't no point. The contract is signed. I ain't got to say shit. If I believe you ain't about what your resume say you about, I'm about to go out there and prove it. But then it's, oh, I know he gonna be tough, and I know I'm gonna have my work cut out for him, but I'm gonna do this and do that. We gotta see. Is it gonna be tough work? Is it gonna be easy work? That's what we need to know. Is it gonna be tough or is it gonna be easy? That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. To me, he's trying to convince himself of something. You know? But we know he in shape. Seeing some pictures of the man. He in shape. People say, well, Errol Spence looks so much bigger than him at the weigh-in or at the press conference. Man, cause that motherfucker on weight. He been training, he on weight. And when you get into them 30s and you start stripping that weight down, you get weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. All that, people say, well, I don't understand how you strip all the weight down. I mean, you got the best of everything. You eating the best, you training 2 or 3 times a day, you abstaining from certain things. But the problem will continue to strip down to a weight in your 30s, it should change. Your body do not recuperate like it once did. Once you start to hit your late 20s, late 30s, that's when I became lactose. I was never lactose before then. So your body starts to make changes. Your bone density started to make those changes, become more dense and get that grown man frame. There's things that happen at that point. And you think you're going to melt that weight off like you used to melt the weight off, and it get tougher and tougher. But that's not even the point about it. The hard thing about it is the rehydration process, where you used to melt the weight off and put the weight back on. Now your body ain't able to recover like it once was, where you can just go ahead, put the weight back on, and 20-something hours after the weigh-in, and you good. It ain't like nothing. You still good. It ain't like it's nothing happened. You know, you good. After a while, then you're a little bit more sluggish. It's a different process, but it is what it is. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live with our video. Financially, want to support the channel? Cash App, $CJGood313, Venmo, CJGood313, PayPal link description. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the whole nine. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.